This tutorial will cover PTC's request for publication onto the LMS. So if you bear with me for a moment, I'm going to walk you through the process of our new form. First, let's talk about where you find the form. If you are on the main portal page and you select Training and Education, you will find this page. You can get to the Performance Technology Center's portal page here. Now, previously, in the past, you guys have submitted requests for assistance in these buttons here. What we've done is we created an additional form that is more specific to requests for publication and requests for development, which can be found right here. So if you have a request for analysis, you'll still submit it with this form. But let's say you have a request for publication onto the LMS, you would select the form here. Now this form is going to give you a couple of options of different things that we do at the PTC, but this video will specifically be covering the request for publication. We will cover requests for development in a second video. So request for publication is specific to self-paced e-learning courses that are ready to be published on the LMS, meaning you don't need the PTC to change or develop anything in the course. It has already been developed and is finished product. So once you get to that point, you come to the PTC, you click here. The next question will ask you, how many times have you submitted this request? The intention of this question is, as you'll find throughout the form, if you are missing a step, it's going to ask you to leave the form, get that information and come back to us. So the purpose of this question is for tracking purposes. So number 3, does the program have a designated PSB? This is a little bit more specific to if for the training centers that have spells, if they do have a PSB. There is a shareable content object implementation policy that you may or may not be aware of. The policy is located here, but in that policy, it basically tells PSBs that they can do their own QA testing, which may have been previously done at the PTC, and go directly to PSB for publication. But if they do not have a PSB, we are the people that can help you. So no or I don't know will take you to the next question. Has analysis been conducted? Now, if analysis has been conducted supporting training, great, moving you down to the next step. But if you do not have an analysis and program went out and did this training on their own, there's an extra step since it contradicts policy. What you will have to do as a training manager or the program manager is to facilitate a request for a provisional hosting agreement in lieu of an analysis. So there's a template right here to just give you a general idea of how to fill it out. You may have already done this on your own as a training manager. If you have and you already have a signature, that's fine. You can submit that to us. There's different options. But if you have not done it yet, you can fill it out and submit it to PTC to route up to Captain King or his replacement for approval. That's basically going to contradict how long it can stay on the LMS while you're waiting for an analysis or other variables that you outline in your request. So the options are, yes, I need to submit my request through FCT, to FCT through PTC. So we will route it for you once you have drafted it. And we will submit a response back to you from Captain King's position. Yes, I have already routed my request and I am awaiting response, meaning that it's taking a little bit longer than you thought and you'd like to continue with the process. We might be able to help you and you can proceed. Or yes, I already have signed approval and I need to submit to PTC. So this would be in the event that you had a previous approval that didn't go through PTC. That's fine. We're trying to work with everyone as this is a new process. Or no, I will use your template and come back to the PTC once I have an answer. This is the preferred method. So we're not putting work towards a project that might have higher direction associated with it. So with that, if you have the template completed, signed, or needing to be signed, we ask you to upload it here. This prevents quite a few back and forth emails. As we go through, you see we're going to have you upload some documents. The next question is, does the developed training meet Forcecom's minimum e-learning requirements? So there's a policy here that outlines the minimum required for spells. If there's some component of it that's not being met, or there is possibly a legal reason why some of these requirements are not being met, you're going to submit another, you can say yes or no, and it's going to take you to the question to submit a waiver. So in this waiver, same thing. You either have it signed, you need to route it, or you'll come back to us once you're ready. It's going to ask you to upload that waiver if you have it. If you don't need these things, basically those questions are going to be removed. All right, so the next step is going to be, is the course deployment form completed to include a course code? This is essential because if you don't have a course code and you're routing a CDF to our office, there's nothing we can really do with it at that point. So you want to make sure that you come to the table with all of the required documentation. So if you don't know how to fill out a CDF, we have a blank CDF here, and there's a CDF job aid right here that you can use that explains the information that's needed. But basically, think about the CDF as the roadmap of how you want, or your program, how they want the course displayed on the LMS. When it's asking for short and long descriptions, if you think about the LMS, it's what's shown when you initially search the course, and then when you click on it, there's a longer description of the course. So each one of the steps in there is going to tell us how the course needs to be put in the production LMS. Okay, so if you say yes, you just need PTC signature, it's going to ask you to upload it. No, it's basically going to end the form and say come back to us when you have that. But let's say you have all the required documents. You're going to get past the CDF stage, and it's going to ask, has the course been uploaded to the development LMS and undergone testing, which concluded your formative evaluation? And this is evaluation conducted internally and with the client and the learners. So we linked to the SOP, but the reason this is here is sometimes courses are developed with external contractors, and they might not have been given the expectation that the course should be tested with, like the instructional evaluation is not done, and it needs to be tested with the target audience and verify the information with program. This is to kind of combat an assumption that PTC is doing instructional evaluation. That's not necessarily the case. Once the course is finished and it comes to us, we are purely doing a functionality Q&A. So we need to make sure this question is kind of helping all parties take ownership over the fact that this step should have been completed before it comes to us. So there may be a case where, let's say, the developers need to do this step, but they don't have access to uploading it onto the development LMS. This is something where we can help you. You can click here. We'll work with you to get the course files, get it on the development LMS, let you know when it's there so that the formative evaluation can be completed. All right. So again, if you're not ready, it's going to end the form for you. But let's say all is well and all the testing is completed. You're going to move on to question 13. I have ensured the course is free of Flash objects and is published in HTML5 only. This is really more for you to pass to ensure with the developers. If courses are not saved without Flash fallbacks, there will be issues on the LMS, and it probably will go a lot of back and forth when we're Q&A testing it. So this is just to let all parties know that let's make sure it's HTML5 only before you submit the course files to us. It's going to prevent future headaches. And last is to enter the training manager's name below. At times, requests don't come directly from the training managers. They might be coming from other interested parties. But just to let you know that we're going to kind of come back to the training managers as the primary source of information so you can have a pulse on what's going on. So that is your tutorial for how to submit a request for publication. I understand it's a lot of steps, but I think it will take away a lot of the back and forth emails and the confusion of the process to get a course from development all the way to delivery. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email or give me a call, and I would be happy to discuss it with you. Thank you.